Oh, hi. Welcome to my new YouTube channel called Ross's Snippets and Bits. My name is Ross, and you can find me on Instagram at RossJGold. Hopefully you'll latch on and we'll all meander around talking about experiences and past and future and current. And I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I think I will enjoy. I hope you'll visit me often, subscribe to my channel, and hit the like button. Oh, and leave me a comment so we can get to know each other. Once I get used to it, I think things will square away, and it'll be much easier for me to think in terms of Instagram and focus, don't focus, closer, further, and we'll get things rolling post-haste. I live in New Jersey right now, but originally I am not born, but raised in Rockland County, South Nyack, New York. Moved there in 1940, I think I want to say 3 or 4, 1943, and then proceeded to grow up as a young kid. Everybody who grew up there, I can't say that. I know some specific cases where people did not enjoy growing up there. It was a very active community socially. A lot of people participated in a lot of things, and it was probably one of the most diverse areas in Rockland County. One of the interests to a number of us from Nyack specifically is that we can't seem to stop talking about it. And I have a feeling much of that is because our backgrounds in the town were so varied, yet the community was so mixed. The Nyack society was a very tightly knit group of people. If you were from Nyack, you were helped, smiled at, and defended by everyone else who was a member of the community. It's like this is show and tell. I'm showing you the house that I grew up in. Not a bad place, but it was when I had to paint it. I mean, I painted that house 3 times from the time my parents bought the house until it was sold finally. It was on Piermont Avenue in South Nyack, New York, 220 to be exact. So you probably can drive past it. Yeah. This was where my bedroom was, right here. That was first on the second floor. I had I had 2 fireplaces, no bathrooms. Those were around the corner, on the same floor. And then I moved on up to higher quarters. That's the attic area, and I occupied the top rooms. You entered at your own risk. And when I say the top, I'm talking about the top, 3 stories up. See the French Huguenot roof. And this home, very much like a lot of the South Nyack homes, was done either Victorian or mixture of French, Dutch. One of the things that I find most interesting is old postcards. You see them lying around, they're gathering dust in a corner somewhere, but each one has its own little special secret story. And seeing as how I can open up a drawer in the kitchen, and it's a Fibber McGee drawer. You open it up. There's an oven timer, temperature gauge, two hammers and a screwdriver, felt padded chair feet. An overall catch-all drawer. Well, I have a lot of postcards on the shelves and in the drawers gathering dust. And I don't want to put them in an album, because when you put them in an album, they stay in the album. And you don't get to look at them as often as you want to look at them. So what I thought I would do is grab a few just as an example. Where's the box? This is too much work. We need a chair that's closer. So let's grab a few postcards here. Let's see. Here's one not mailed. It was filled out, but not mailed. It's a picture of what's called the bite, and that's where the tide comes in and swirls around a little, comes out, and it's like this big mouth gathering water. Come on, all you water, come over here. And it turns into this little eddy here. Well, anyhow, that's one. Here's one. This is an interesting one, the Nyack suburbs in the Hudson River. So these are the Nyack suburbs on the Hudson River. And it's kind of interesting. All the places pictured are or were still living or still functioning as they were 150 years ago. Some of the houses are so old they have names. I have an old horse blanket from like the 1920s. It came out of one of the houses in a yard sale. Beautiful, beautiful handmade thing. And it came out of one of these houses. This was the local country club or golf course in Nyack in Rockland County. That's the local village course. Kind of a neat place, isn't it? Look at that. There's always one of these. The hills in Nyack, where they stored ammunition, which they did also up near Bear Mountain. And it was all government owned by, not by anybody, but things kept their names, Blue Hills. So Blue Hills is another place, a location in and around Nyack, back in the woods, where there were a lot of underground storage bins. Now this is one of the places that was utilized as an ammunition dump. Back in the 40s, 30s, 20s. And this is also where, as a teenager, you'd go with that brand new bottle of what were popular afternoon drinks then. Yeah, rum and Coke. Well, this is a picture of the Female Institute of Rockland County. It's shown on maps all over the country. because they were in the business of converting and spreading the word worldwide. The Rockland Female Training Institute was an institute, a school of higher learning. It was a college or a university that taught people how to convert non-believers. The Bobbin Inn was kind of a magical place, as it were. It serviced many age groups socially, for part-time jobs, lifeguards, swimming instructors, camp counselors, waiters, waitresses, and the like. Kitchen cooks, chefs, fine chefs, French chefs. The Bobbin Inn. How many of you went to the Bobbin Inn for a meal, for entertainment, as a place to meet your friends? The Bobbin Inn. Look at it. I've got a menu from like 1952 or 3. I should dig that out somewhere. That'll give you the price. A beef steak, that's always good for $2.
What is this lake back here?
That's Rockland Lake, part of the Palisades Park system now. And it was then. Well, maybe not then. It might have been too early. Yeah, there were cabins in the back, I think 6 or 8 cabins. And it was the summer people. You have to remember Rockland County, starting from Palisades, New York, and Bear Mountain, was a summer resort area. And everybody got their summer job at the Bobbin Inn. I worked there as a lifeguard for a couple of years, and for a lifeguard as a couple of years. It was an interesting time for me as a teenager, and the Bobbin Inn provided all kinds of things. Freddie Tabaracci, the owner of the Bobbin Inn, when it was a fine dining French restaurant, you'd go in, you were seated properly, with proper placement of you name it, they had it. The food was exquisite. And you would never be ashamed to take a date here, or your fiancé, or anybody. It was that good. Or at least in our eyes, it was that good. So this is the sort of thing you might see on my channel. But I want to keep it homegrown and actually informative. I've got lots of stuff like this. Lots of stuff.
Okay.
Of course, the Bobbin Inn was whatever you wanted to call it. I mean, there were rumors.
Oh.
But everybody always was treated properly. Now that's it for this episode. That's all you can squeeze out of me today. So long. That's it for today.